Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today is June 6th and I'm officially 30 years old. It is my birthday. I'm really excited and I'm happy to finally be out of my 20s. I am welcoming 30 with open arms, an open heart, and open mind. I am ready for this new decade and this new chapter. I'm just really excited. I posted about a month ago on my community tab here on YouTube asking you guys if you wanted to see like a reflection video about my 20s, and a lot of you said yes, which I was kind of shocked. I wasn't expecting to get like that big of a response. So here we are. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I went through in my 20s, and maybe that'll give you like kind of like an insight as to why I'm ready to be done. I have tissues. I'm not much of an emotional person, but I feel like sometimes I can be. If I feel like the mood is a little bit too deep and too real, I have a few like fun facts about me. I got this idea from Brittany. She recently turned 30 a couple weeks ago and she shared 30 facts about her. Since some of the topics that I'm going to be speaking about could be a little bit heavy, I wanted to like be able to break it up and share some fun facts about your girl. If you guys want to hang out with me for the next few minutes and just talk about life and all that fun stuff, let's go ahead and jump right on into today's video. The first topic that I want to talk about with you guys is being a single parent. I have two children. If you guys did not know, my daughter is 9 and my son is 5, and I have been a single mom since I was 22 years old. And it has been a really rough journey. It has not always been sunshine and rainbows. It has been quite a few really dark, lonely times. Because when you're a single parent, you don't have somebody there who is watching you make these decisions and letting you know and reassuring you that you are doing a good job and you are doing the best that you can. And I feel like sometimes with that whole mom guilt thing, we want so much for our kids that we give and give and give. And being a single parent, there's nobody there to really like fill your cup up, and you have to consciously make the decision to really take time for yourself. Which it's kind of like an endless cycle, because then you feel like when you're taking time for yourself, you're taking away from your kids, but you can't pour from an empty cup. And that has been something that I am still trying to learn. One of the reasons why I have a YouTube channel, I feel like I really needed to do something for myself. I really needed time to myself to not forget who I was. Because when you become a mom, your life changes, your compass changes, everything that you do, every decision you make has your kids, like you have your kids in mind, and it's very easy to lose the person you were before you had kids. And even though you may not be the same person, because here I am 10 years later, there are certain traits about myself that I liked and certain things that I like to do that I didn't want to lose just because I had kids. My daughter was about 2 years old when I finally made a decision to, be on my own, and it was not easy, but I've never been the type of person who felt like I needed to put my happiness on the back burner just because I had a kid, because I feel like it's my responsibility as a mom to show my children what to tolerate in love and what to accept and how to accept love and how to give love. And I can't do that if I feel like I'm not being treated the way that I deserve to be treated. Now, this is in no way, shape, or form like a burn or anything. A burn. I'm so old. This is no way to I'm not trying to put my kids' fathers on blast, because they're great people. My kids have great relationships with their dad, but talking from a personal standpoint and our relationships, it just wasn't good. I have been in a few toxic relationships in my 20s, and I've held on to things much longer than I needed to, probably because I was just afraid to be alone. And then when I finally made that decision and there was no going back, it had probably lasted longer than it needed to. But once I made the decision that, this is what's best, and I need to be happy because I have this little person who is watching me every single day, who is starting to understand things. I really need to be I need to show her love, and I need to show her happiness, and I couldn't do that staying in the relationship that I was in. While it wasn't an easy decision and it took a lot of thought and a lot of tears to come to the, decision. I wouldn't change anything. Where I'm at now, I'm definitely happier being a single parent. But doing it in my early 20s, it was hard because I was still struggling with who I was. I was coming into my own and having to be the ultimate parent for this person. And now I'm like affecting their life and there's nobody here with me to like bounce ideas on or anything like that. So it was a little bit tough. And being a single mom is a thankless job. It's rough. There's a lot of loneliness at times. And sometimes it sucks and it's not always fun, but at the end of the day, all I had to do was remind myself that this is the best thing that I can do for my kids. When I got pregnant with my son, that was a very rough time, and I feel like I'm not gonna cry. So when I got pregnant with my son, I was by myself, and it was I was by myself from jump. And it was rough because the way it was new to me, because when I was pregnant with my daughter, her dad was there and he was so excited about every single thing. He would take pictures of my belly every single week. It was so annoying. And I almost didn't like it. And then when I got pregnant with my son, I was by myself. So I wished that I could go back and really enjoy those moments, because here I was in this whole process where I'm supposed to be so excited that I'm having a child and I'm bringing like a new life into this world, but I was alone and I was depressed. That was the first time in my life I think I really have ever struggled with depression, because my daughter was 3 years old and I was pregnant. I was alone. I was living in this condo that I could barely afford. I was struggling. I was working nights. I would work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. I would hardly get any sleep. And then when I was home, I was just upset and I didn't want to do anything. And every time I went to a doctor's appointment, all I could really think about was, I'm going by myself. And it sucked. And my pregnancy was high risk, of course. So yeah, that was a really rough time for me. And I just felt like, oh my God, now here I am. I'm going to have 2 kids. Like, I'm never going to find anybody. Nobody's ever going to love me, blah, blah, blah. Like, just really dramatic. But in those moments, that's honestly what I felt like. And then I had to think about who was going to be in the delivery room with me. And honestly, I was like, I feel like I should just do it alone. But there was a few people in my life that were like, no, you are not doing this alone. You have a support system. Just like any other rough time that I've been through, I made it through. And even though at that time I could not see the light at the end of the tunnel, I had to keep going because I had a child. I was pregnant with a child, and I knew that this was not the end all be all. Like, I will get through this. I felt like storm clouds were over my head every single day. Sometimes I couldn't get out of my bed. I cried a lot, but because I was a mom, that was what kept me going. And it was a very rough thing to get through, and I don't wish that on anybody, but women are so strong, and the resilience that we have is like, it's unmatched. So it's, I'm trying not to get emotional. I just want to let anybody out there who is pregnant and alone, like, I know it sucks and I know it's really hard, but you're going to get through it and everything's going to be okay. Not everybody is going to have the fairy tale happy ending. Not everybody is going to have somebody along their side, through everything. And that's okay, because you are good on your own. And that is something that took me a really long time to learn. And I'm still trying to learn that now, because it's being a single mom, I don't think it gets easier. I feel like it almost gets harder. Let's go ahead and take a break from this intense conversation to give you guys a random fact about me. I am terrified of lizards. That's right. I live in Florida and I almost get nauseous when I see lizards. Something about them just makes my skin crawl. I get kind of like lightheaded and like, I can't. There's not many things in this world that I am terrified of, but itty bitty little lizards, they're one of them. my 20s, that entire decade, was a very selfless decade. And being selfless is good, but I feel like at times it is good to be selfish, and it's good to treat yourself and say no. No is a complete sentence. And I did not know that in my 20s. I said yes to things that I didn't want to do. I hung out with people that I knew I shouldn't be hanging out with. I stayed in relationships where I was being mistreated and disrespected because it was easier. And I feel like that was one thing that I told myself I was not going to do in my 30s. I'm not going to do things that I don't want to do. And I'm going to do it unapologetically. I'm going to say no. I'm going to stop talking to people. I'm going to cut people off. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to protect my peace. I just spent too much of my time in relationships with people, whether it be guys or friendships, where I was sacrificing a lot of myself and I didn't really know why. I was staying in relationships. I was staying in contact with people that did not serve me and did not help me grow. And I really don't know why. And when I look back on it, I'm like, oh my God, Cassandra, like, why were you in this situation for so long? Why didn't you leave then? Why didn't you notice this red flag? What, are you kidding me? But I feel like I had to go through all those things to be able to sit here and know that I will have a better next decade of my life, because I had to learn really valuable lessons in my 20s. I struggled a lot with comparing myself and my life to those around me because I didn't go to college. I got accepted into college and I didn't go because I was just scared. That is one of my biggest regrets today, is not going to college. Even after I got my acceptance letter, I was like on cloud 9. I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to go to this university and it's going to be bomb. And then I was like, oh, but this was like my bubble. And I was scared to leave my bubble. When I was about 22, I was watching a lot of my friends graduate from college and going on to grad school or moving away and doing all these big things. And I felt like I was just doing the same old thing. Like, here I am, I've got a kid, like I'm a single mom. Like, I just started this new job and, like, what do I have to offer? Like, I'm not really doing anything with my life. That's how I felt. And then in my later 20s, then I saw a lot of my friends buying homes and getting engaged. And I talked about this on my channel. Last summer was so rough for me because I felt like everybody around me was getting engaged. And even though that was something that I never really wanted for myself, I felt like I was behind because I wasn't like keeping up with the Joneses. Nobody was seeing any engagement announcements from me. People were having babies. And even though I didn't want babies, I just thought back to like, wow, when I announced I was pregnant, people were happy for me, but a lot of people knew that I was alone. So there was a lot of questions and that didn't make it any better. I just felt like every time I turned around, I felt like everybody else was up here and I was just like flying beneath the radar. Like, I wasn't really doing anything. I didn't have anything fun going on with my life. I wasn't buying a home. So I started putting these expectations on myself that I just couldn't meet. And maybe I couldn't meet them because I wasn't focused and I wasn't in the right frame of mind. But that was really hard. And I talked about it before. I talked about it in a live too. I put these expectations on myself, and then when I didn't meet them, I was like, okay, now I'm worthless and I don't deserve anything. Like, I don't deserve to be happy. Apparently, I'm never going to amount to anything. It's such a crappy feeling to feel like you could be doing more, but you're not. And I went through that feeling a lot. To lighten the mood, we're going to move on to the second random fact about me. You guys know me as CassieThatGirl, Cassie. My real name is Cassandra. And I like my name. I think it's a pretty name. However, it can be shortened so many times. You can call me Cassandra, Sandra, but please don't. That's my grandma. Cassie, Cass, CJ, whatever. So when I had my kids, I decided that I was going to name them names that were short and sweet because I got so many nicknames when I was a kid, and still to this day, I wanted to name my kids very simple names. My daughter's name is Jada. My son's name is Carter. please don't shorten them. So yeah, that is just another random fact about me. My full name is Cassandra. My middle name is Joy. I won't tell you my last name, but yeah. Really, nobody calls me Cassandra unless my brother is talking to me with his dad voice. Sometimes my mom might call me Cassandra. My boyfriend calls me Cass. And sometimes my friends call me Cassie. A lot of people at work call me by my last name, but that's just the nature of the field. So yeah, there's another random fact about me. I'm gonna give you guys another random few facts about me just so you can get to know me a little bit better. And then we'll wrap up this video. I don't want it to be super long, and I feel like we've touched on a lot of really good topics. So the next random fact about me is I was born in Baltimore, but I have been living in Florida since I was a little bitty kid. I have a fear of suffocating. I have asthma. It is bad. I take medication every single day. So I do not like it when people put their hands in front of my mouth or a pillow. Don't play with me. Don't get it twisted. I will knock you out. Okay? Do not constrict my airways. Another random fact about me, I am the youngest of 7. My mom has 3 children, including me. And I also have siblings from my dad's side. I'm the only one with my mother and my father. So technically, my siblings are half siblings, but that's not how I was raised. So they're my brothers and my sisters. I know it may seem odd. I know a lot of people tend to dread their 30s, but I have just been through so much in my 20s and I'm ready to close that chapter and move on. So yeah, that is it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this really chill vibe. If you want to see more videos like this where I talk about different topics and kind of go like in depth, I would like to do that. I really love to talk. So yeah, if you guys are into that, give me a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and you are not already subscribed to my channel, we don't always get, really deep and really heavy, but I would really appreciate it if you join the fam and hit that subscribe button. And I hope you guys have a great day and a great year. I'm excited to welcome my 30s. Oh my God. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day and thank you for watching. I will see you guys in my next video.